What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Blazers Uprise post-game show presented by Prize Picks. Today, the Portland Trail Blazers, with former Blazer LaMarcus Aldridge sitting next to new owner Tom Dundon in attendance. The Blazers lose to the shorthanded San Antonio Spurs by a final score of 112-101. In the grand scheme of things, this game might not matter. We're going to talk about why, but of course we're going to break down what we saw today. I thought you had a couple interesting performances from a couple of players. We'll break down the game, but of course we'll take a look at those standings. We'll take a look at the play-in picture and discuss what should be the biggest game of the season coming up against the Clippers on Friday night. The Clippers currently down to the OKC Thunder, 120-99 with 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining. It's pretty safe to say the Clippers will lose that game. And that's great news for the Portland Trail Blazers because that means that Friday's game against the Clippers will essentially be for the 8th seed, assuming the Blazers can then beat the Kings in the final game of the regular season on Sunday. Of course, that's a tanking Kings team. So the Blazers still control their own destiny, still have a chance to play for 8th. But tonight did not look so good. Eric, what's going on, man? How are you doing?
I'm okay, man. Yeah, I kept trying to tell myself that during the game, but it's still disheartening to watch them come out in a game where if they win, they could make it so the Sunday game doesn't even matter. I mean, that's not a gimme the way this team has played at times this season. So it's sad to see Wemby and Castle sit this one out. And once again, the Blazers just get outworked. And it's a low-energy game from them. Just really sad to see that when so much is riding on these games. Because at the time, they didn't know that the Clippers were going to beat the Thunder. The Thunder pretty much have the first seed wrapped up. Their magic number is 1 to do that, so they're going to clinch the first seed tonight with this win. And if the Spurs would have lost this game, same thing, that game wouldn't have mattered. The Thunder might have pulled some of their players if they saw that the Spurs lost. So it wasn't a given doing that. So in my mind, you have to approach this game like it was a must win. And Blazers certainly did not play like that.
Yeah, I don't think any of the struggles in this game had to do with the standings or how important they felt like this game was. I think the struggles in this game are basically the same stuff we've talked about all season long, manifesting itself against a good team. Even without Victor Wembanyama and Stephon Castle, this is a good Spurs team. They're well coached. They play really, really good defense, and we saw that in this game. The Blazers barely climbed past the century mark there with 101 points. And the Blazers made some runs, but this was the type of game where the Spurs were in complete control pretty much the entire way. Big performances from rookies in this one for the Spurs. Dylan Harper had a good night. Carter Bryant hit almost every single three he took, looking like a Tamani Kamara clone, given the way that Tamani's been shooting the ball lately. Carter Bryant, phenomenal game. That was another guy that the Blazers could have taken with the 11th overall pick. Meanwhile, the Blazers rookie In Young Hansen continues to sit on the bench because he is not equipped to play NBA basketball right now. Instead, you got a different Blazers rookie actually getting into the game in the fourth quarter, or in the second half. I think it was late third. Caleb Love gets some run. Blake Wesley gets some run. Sidney Sissoko, Chris Murray got some run. Really interesting rotations in this game from Thiago. The bench was pretty abysmal for the Blazers in this one. Really no impact from the second unit at all in this game. Denny Avdija has a good game, still has turnover issues, and just did not really... honestly, I did not like his mindset in this game, despite the way he scored the ball. I'll talk about that when we get into the players a little bit more. Drew Holiday, not his best shooting performance. He takes a lot of tough shots, and there's going to be nights where those tough shots don't fall. This was one of those games. So just a really, really abysmal offensive night, man. I just wish we got the team that we saw against the Denver Nuggets that set a franchise record in threes, because that team wins this game pretty handily. Now, I'm not too bummed out about this loss because the Blazers, in my opinion, will be playing for the 8th seed on Friday. I'm not worried about the regular season to the Sacramento Kings. Not worried about that. I truly believe the winner of this game on Friday between the Clippers and the Blazers will get the 8th seed. The Blazers control their own destiny. So that's all I wanted over this stretch of games, was for this game to matter against the Clippers. You're coming back home. Everybody knows what they're playing for. That's going to be the biggest game of some of these guys' careers. Not Drew's, of course. Not Robert Williams, of course. But Scoot Henderson, Denny Avdija. This game on Friday night is going to be the biggest game of those guys' careers so far, because they've never made a play-in, let alone a playoff. So really looking forward to Friday night. Ready to kind of flush this one. Ready to look ahead. Because honestly, this recap is essentially, for me, just going to be talking about the same offensive issues, the same lack of structure offensively. We saw rear its ugly head multiple times throughout this game. The Blazers end up turning over the ball. Let me find it here. 18 times. Or no, that was last game. Let me go to the right box score. The Blazers turned over the ball 16 times. It was funny because the announcers said, man, the Blazers had turned over the ball 16 times. Like, that was a high number. It's like, man, that's a low number for us. It's a low number for this team. But the Spurs really converted well. The Spurs had 26 points on 16 Blazers turnovers. The Blazers only had 19 points on 17 Spurs turnovers. The Spurs got 22 fast break points. Devin Vassell was interviewed during this game. He said the key for them was to try and not turn over the ball and try and get out and run. The Blazers just did not shoot the ball particularly well, 32% from three. The Spurs at 38%. The Blazers only got to the line 10 times. The Spurs 19 times, and the Blazers only made 5 of their 10 free throws, 50% from the charity stripe for Portland. That hurt them in a game that was at one point a 2-possession game there in the final few minutes. Just not a well-executed game offensively. Defensively, after a hot start, the Blazers defense got better as this game went on. Held the Spurs to 51 second-half points. De'Aaron Fox looked like he was going to scorch them in this game. He had 10 points very early on in this game. Ended up finishing with 25, but we've seen De'Aaron Fox earlier this season torch this Blazer defense. So I thought the defense as the game kind of went on was fine outside of a couple of players, but just the offensive struggles continue to rear its ugly head, and it's especially disappointing considering the Spurs didn't have the best defender in the league in Wemby out there patrolling the paint, and the Blazers still could not seemingly control their offense. Their offense was out of control. I'll talk about why, but just give me your synopsis, your thoughts on this game, what really went wrong for Portland, what led to this loss.
Well, I kind of feel the opposite of you. I don't want to just throw away this game because the effort was abysmal, and there were multiple times where there was one in particular where Rob Will, Denny, and Drew Holiday were all under the basket for a defensive rebound, and they let Carter Bryant out-hustle him. Keldon Johnson all night outworked whoever was guarding him or trying to box him out, or not even trying to box him out, I guess. I felt like there were several times where Blazers just gave up on plays or fell asleep on defense, and that's quite concerning when they should be.
What's also quite concerning is that Eric just disappeared because of the collab cam. That's always concerning when that happens. I love how I always just have the perfect segue into talking about how you disappear. Anyway, go on.
But yeah, I don't know if you caught this, but there was a play where Rob Will, Denny, and Drew Holiday were all under the basket for a defensive rebound. Carter Bryant outworked them. Got the rebound. There was several where Keldon Johnson outworked whoever was guarding him. And just multiple times where people were just standing around ball watching and not playing good defense, not jumping on loose balls. It even happened on offense. There was a play where Denny kind of lost the ball and he just turned around and stared at it for a second while someone went to the floor and got it. He could have easily just grabbed it. I don't know what the heck he was doing.
That was one of the plays that went into the Denny mindset thing that bothered me in this game.
Yeah.
There was the possession. He was They were going the other way, and he literally took steps away from running back on defense to step towards the ref, yelling at him. I don't know how he didn't get teed up. It's amazing to me sometimes that Denny doesn't get teed up. Listen, I agree. The effort in this game was abysmal. I'm looking forward to hearing Thiago's thoughts on this game. So, chat, let us know when his interview is up. We'll play the audio.
I watched it, yeah.
Is it up on YouTube?
I don't know if it's up, but I watched it.
Well, I'll just pull up YouTube here on my other monitor. I'm not gonna show the video feed because I get copyrighted for some reason every single time that happens, which is really annoying. Don't really know why, but
man, Denny had a good game overall, but I was very disappointed in him on defense. There was multiple times where he just did not play defense. He just was lazy tonight. And you have to have it on both ends. You can't just be an offensive force. You have to bring it on both ends. And I felt like he was key in letting the Spurs get the lead with his lack of effort on defense.
Yeah, so let's just have this conversation now. He was great offensively in this game. A lot of people, when they talk about him being, the best player on our team or number one option, et cetera, when people doubt if he's able to be that guy, it's mostly about, he can't produce at a high enough level against good teams in the playoffs. And I think it's a very justified argument. I don't think he's quite at the level he needs to be the number one guy on a team that can push, a Western Conference Finals or something like that. The bigger issue I have right now, because this is a guy who's improved every single year. Next year, I expect him to be even better than he was this year, and hopefully he's able to stay healthy. And he has 29 points, 13 for 21 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3, 2 for 4 from the free throw line. He has 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 6 turnovers. He was a +7 in this game. I do want to state that. The team without him on the floor, in the 10 minutes he was not on the floor, was a -18. And that speaks to how abysmal the bench was, which we will get into. The bench was freaking atrocious. Atrocious. There's a reason why Thiago was trying lineups with Blake Wesley in them and then threw Caleb Love out there for 2 minutes to see what happened. And all he did was turn over the ball. So Denny +7, Tamani +7. Both those guys played well. Both those guys scored efficiently. Tamani also had 6 assists with only 2 turnovers. A great offensive game from Tamani. Love what he's been doing offensively lately.
Didn't get enough shots in this game.
Yeah, honestly. We'll talk about somebody that maybe took a few too many shots in this game. But, Denny, outside of the turnovers, had a really good game. He obviously needs to improve the turnovers. And he needs to improve his left hand. He did have a nice left-handed finish in this game, though, so that was nice to see. But the conversation for me, this conversation isn't even necessarily about how he played today. It's about the mental part of the game and leadership. So 6 turnovers, he has to be mentally sharper. We just see him, he has too many turnovers, and he tries to make plays for others, so he's going to turn over the ball more. But he's just making the same types of turnovers a little bit too frequently, and that's something where he has to sit down and look at film and figure out ways to be better in that regard if he's going to be a number one option offensively. He has to take better care of the ball. But my issue with him being the guy on the team is right now is the leadership aspect. Given some of the defensive lapses and defensive effort issues in a game that's, this game might not matter in the scheme of things, but they didn't know that going in. It's the 80th game of the regular season. They're playing for an 8 seed. They're playing for the playoffs. They're playing for their season. Some of the lack of effort in this game from him, not pursuing loose balls, the Spurs are flying the other way in transition, and he's walking away from the play to go yell at the ref instead of worrying about getting back, when all that's going to do is get the other team a technical free throw. You're not going to change the ref's mind. There's been a lot of times lately where I don't like Denny's mental approach to the game. We talked about after the Mavericks game. Some of it's the complaining, but then some of it's just like you can't have your leader not play his ass off going for loose balls in a game like this. And people say, "Oh, look at Dame defensively." Dame played hard defensively in important games like this. Dame would dive on a loose ball. He's just 6'2". All right, Denny doesn't have that excuse. He's 6'9". And he had a couple good defensive moments in this game. Don't get me wrong, but you want your leader to be either somebody that leads by example or is a vocal leader. And I'm not sure Denny's really either right now, because the example that he's setting with some of the little things is not a good one. And I don't know. He's very vocal when he yells at refs, but I'm not sure how much of a vocal leader he is either. So as far as him being the guy on a team, most people look at it from just a production standpoint on the floor. But I don't know if he's setting a good example. And it's kind of like, we talked about it earlier in the season, like this team played with a lot more energy when Denny was out on the floor, and I thought he did a good job leading by example the first half of the season, when he wasn't complaining as much, when he was always playing hard, he was playing fast, he was going after loose balls. But that's not who he's been lately. And that's something I have an issue with.
Yeah, there was a play defensively where I don't know what there was an offensive rebound by the Spurs, and he just got caught ball watching, gave up an offensive rebound, and then he went and stood up by the free throw line. There was no Spurs player around there, and he just stood there and looked around and had no idea where to go or what to do. And then the next shot went up, and he just turned around, didn't try to box anyone out or anything. Man, it's just if I'm like a player and I'm watching him do that, yeah, that's not what a leader does by example and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm sure there's going to be people that are upset with those comments because they're big Denny fans. And like I've always said, I will find a way to enrage every player fan base, because I will not just say only positive things about a player. And the second you start critiquing the player, a lot of their fans will have an issue with it. Now, there's some Denny fans out there that will say the same things and hold him accountable. I think it's the proper thing to do is to hold him accountable in this regard. He needs to grow in this regard, because it's almost like when things have gotten tough and more important and the stakes are raised, the way he's reacting to that isn't the best. The way he's complaining is not the best. He needs to go out there and play harder. In some games he does, and I don't mean play hard by just drive full speed at defenders. Go get the loose ball. Go rebound the ball. We've seen him have stretches where he's averaging 10-plus rebounds per game. The rebounding in this game was okay defensively. They had 11 offensive rebounds, but then he has 6, and I feel like the rebounding from him lately is not what it was for stretches earlier in the season. And that's slightly backed up statistically. So maybe some of it's him not being 100%, and that's bothering him. Maybe I should give him some grace in that regard. But it does feel like, dude, if you can drive full speed into multiple defenders multiple times a game, you can pursue loose balls a little bit better than he did in this game. So I think, with him being the best player on the team, he should be held to a high standard in regards to the example that he sets. And, he's not responsible for the guys on the bench being absolutely abysmal. And the Blazers won the minutes when he was in the game because he was really good scoring the ball. But we know he can score the ball. We know he can get to the free throw line. We know he can drop 29 points. We know he's an all-star caliber player offensively. What he can control on a night-in, night-out basis is his mentality and approach to the game, and how much he does or does not complain in his effort. And I feel like lately, some games it's fine, some games it's not. This is one of the games it wasn't. So I look for him to be better in the most important game of his career on Friday next game.
And to be fair, he had done a little bit better job of the not complaining the last couple games, but yeah, tonight was back to being bad again. So yeah, we have a comment here that I want to read. It's where is Portland without Denny? Yeah, no crap. He's been our best player all year. That's very clear.
That's an off-topic comment. That doesn't address it. Of course, but that doesn't go against anything that I just said.
And we've given Denny his flowers all season, and he's been great. Obviously, an all-star, all that stuff. You know, if the back injury doesn't happen, he probably easily wins Most Improved Player. I don't know if he's going to win it anymore, but yeah, I mean, he's had a great season. But this is the difference now between putting up numbers on a mediocre team with a play-in ceiling or a team that's trying to take a jump and solidify themselves as a playoff team and not just being happy with making the play-in. And ultimately, they could still make the playoffs. It'll still come down to that game Friday night, taking care of business Sunday, and then, winning 1 out of 2 games in the play-in to make the playoffs. But there is when you're that level of player and there's that much on the line here at the end of these seasons and into the play-in playoff situations, you can't have like one of your worst effort games of the season. And that's not a good sign. I hope it was just a bad game from him on that end and mentally, but he's got to be the guy who shows this team how to get there, like, even though he hasn't been there either. But like, he's got to be the guy who's like, ride on my back. Like, we got this. Like, not, I'm just going to take these 10 plays off defensively tonight and not give a ton of effort. Like, I don't know, man.
Ride on his back, but his back hurts. His back hurts.
Yeah, right. I know.
You can't put too much on his back. And I don't even mean that like all that jokingly. Like, I still feel like he's probably not feeling 100%, but who's feeling 100% at this time of the season? The difference is between like guys that have done this before and guys that haven't played meaningful games this time of year. Like, the guys that have done it before, they know that they have to play through not being 100%. They've done it before. Whereas, this is a new experience for Denny. This is a new experience for Scoot. Although Scoot missed 50 games, so he hasn't had the long grind of a season. This is a new experience for Tamani. He's started every game this entire year. He hasn't missed a game. So, yeah, like just the effort, the energy. It's just kind of like a mental thing for him, and he's been stuck in this, like, with this attitude where I feel like if you had a true number one that was a good leader, they would get Denny to snap out of it, but they don't really have that guy, and Denny's supposed to be that guy, and he's not responding the best to it. So that's where next year, if you have Dame return to 80% of his former self, like, Dame will be the guy that will get Denny to meet the moment at this time of year in the playoffs, whatever. I just wish Denny would do it himself. It's been bothering me a bit lately as a guy that's gassed him up all season long for his production. And his production in this game was good. Just got to take better care of the ball.
Okay, there was someone asked in chat, is the line out for Friday's game yet? Looks like Clippers are favored by 3 currently is the opening line. And that game is officially a final. Clippers lose. Blazers still just a game back.
Yep.
Own the tiebreaker due to the second tiebreaker, which is if they win. So the Blazers win these next 2 games. They are the 1 seed.
They're the 1 seed?
They're the 8 seed. Yeah, and lose either of them, and they're 9th probably.
Yeah, I'm not even focused on the Kings game. Like for the 8th seed at home against the Kings, like they're going to be 15-point favorites. And against teams that are that bad, I know they lost to the Mavs, but the Mavs aren't Kings level bad. The Kings are like the arguably the worst team in the league. I'm not worried about that game at all. I think Friday, that game's for the 8th seed. That's how I am approaching it. That's how they should approach it. Like, this is the most important game of the year. This
But
is for
wouldn't
the
that be
8th
a very
seed.
Blazery thing to win Friday and then
Yeah,
struggle on Sunday?
but I mean, they could struggle on Sunday and still win by 12. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
I know.
that's how bad they are. Like one game at a time. But like this game is for the 8th seed. If you lose this game, you have no chance at the 8th seed. If you win this game, I'd give them a 95% chance of the 8th seed. Like that's the difference here, realistically. So this game's for the 8th seed. Come out here, play harder than you did tonight. But I'll say this, like, this wasn't just effort issues in this game. Like, I thought the effort from Tumani Donovan wasn't bad. Drew seemed a little low energy today on both sides of the floor, but did have 13 points, 10 boards, 6 assists, was 6 for 17, 1 for 7 from 3, so just not an efficient night for him. Scoot, I thought, played hard, but was 7 for 20. That was the issue for Scoot tonight. But he plays 38 minutes, has 20 points. You know, I would have liked for him to be a little bit more efficient tonight. Had smoked a lay-in that he should have finished with his left. Like, there's some Scoot things to talk about from this game. But I actually, normally we talk about team stuff, like how the offense worked, what they ran defensively, etc. I mean, you guys know my thoughts on the offense at this point. And if you're new to the show, basically, I'm not a fan of the system that the Blazers run because it's not much of a system. That's as simply as I can put it. So normally we start with that and then get to the players. I just want to start with the bench. I just want to start with the bench as a whole and have that conversation. The Portland Trail Blazers bench, okay, played a combined 64 minutes and had a total of 10 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 turnovers. The highest score, the shooting was 5 for 16 from the field, and 0 for 5 from 3, and 0 for 2 from the free throw line. Robert Williams, the leading scorer off the bench. In 13 minutes, he had 4 points. In 24 minutes, Matisse Thybulle did not score. Was 0 for 5 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3. Took a couple abysmal three-point attempts. He's been playing really good basketball lately outside of overtime last game where he was abysmal. He continued that into today. He was a minus 19 in 24 minutes. Didn't really have an impact defensively. He had 2 steals, but he played 24 minutes. That's what, 10% of his defensive possessions maximum? Less than that? Probably 5% of his defensive possessions. Didn't really slow anybody down today. Minus 19, he was abysmal. Chris Murray, 12 minutes, 2 points, 1 for 2 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3. Did not get a rebound, did not get an assist or a steal or a block or anything else. And got cooked repeatedly defensively. He was abysmal defensively, containing dribble penetration at the point of attack in this game. He was abysmal. And did he play in the second half?
Who was that?
Chris Murray.
Yeah, he was in there. He came in with like 6 minutes left in the game and was playing like in crunch time. Remember, he had the driving layup that was his one basket to cut it to 9. Spurs had to call a timeout, and then
So Chris did not play until 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, 8 minutes. Yeah.
He did not play in the third quarter, did not play the first 3 minutes of the fourth quarter. That was interesting. Because he came in with 6 minutes in the first quarter. 6 minutes into the game he came in. He did not play at all in the third quarter. Gets subbed in with 8 minutes. Had a lay-in. And then gets subbed out with 4.5 minutes to go. and then got subbed back in garbage time with 42 seconds remaining. So he only played effectively 4 minutes in the second half. He got his minutes cut. City Sissoko, 9 minutes, 2 points, was 1 for 2, did not have a rebound, assist, steal, block, nothing, just like Chris Murray. Was 0 for 1 from 3. He is an abysmal three-point shooter and should never shoot a freaking 3. Honestly, if there's 1.5 seconds on the shot clock, I'd rather him try and take 2 dribbles in and shoot a 15-foot floater. At this point, he has been that bad of a three-point shooter. In Chris Murray, we know he's an absolutely terrible three-point shooter. Those two guys combined to play 21 minutes. Chris Murray was a -9. Sissoko was a -8. They combined to go 2 for 4 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3. They're absolute non-threats offensively, and they didn't do a single other thing. They didn't rebound. They didn't play make for anybody. They didn't play defense. Both of those guys played abysmal defense in today's game. It was so bad that Blake Wesley got some run in the second half. He played 4 minutes and managed to get up 4 shots and was 1 for 4. Had 2 rebounds and a turnover, no assists.
That was the first half.
Was it the first half?
Yeah, he played in the first half. It was one of the worst stints by a Blazer this season, I thought. 3 of his shots were terrible.
Yep.
Turnovers bad, and he gambled on defense, as did Thibault, but gambled a couple times on defense, took a couple terrible shots, and they had to take him out after 4 minutes. And I understand what Thiago was trying to do. I don't blame him for putting him into this game because Blazers clearly had an energy issue at that point and needed some sort of spark, and Blake has been able to provide that this season at times. But yeah, he very quickly played himself completely off the court. We could not play him in this game, which is sad considering how bad the bench was.
Yeah, that was late in the second quarter that he got in. Caleb Love was the guard that got 2 minutes of run in the second half, and all he did was turn over the ball where he dribbled right into a defender. And, I mean, he's one of the most inefficient players in the league on the season, but, he's better than starters on this team, according to some people. The Blake Wesley thing is just City Sissoko's not working, let's sub in guard version of City Sissoko. That's literally what it felt like today. This was some of the decision-making, shot selection, the turnover from Blake Wesley. The combination of Chris Murray, Blake Wesley, City Sissoko, and then Matisse Thybulle when he can't score, which I know he's been shooting the 3-ball well, but that's always kind of been the knock on Thybulle. It is such an awful collection and combination of guys to have together off the bench.
I forgot who it was, but Thybulle also fell asleep. Just completely stood there as this guy cut back door and got a dunk.
All these guys are supposed to be energy, hustle, defensive guys, and none of them contributed defensively. None of them. Chris Murray was horrific defensively. How many times did he get driven by and scored on? It was at least 3. One, he gave a lazy foul. The national broadcast called him out. It's baffling to me that we're sitting here playing for an 8th seed, and then this is what the bench rotation looks like. Obviously, you don't have Jeremy Grant. Obviously, you don't have Shaden Sharp. But they didn't have Wembanyama and Castle today.
Mm-hmm.
They got guys that'll come off the bench. They literally got 48 points from 4 guys off the bench. Harrison Barnes has 9. Keldon Johnson has 20. Carter Bryant, who's a rookie, has 17 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. And then you look at Kelly Olynyk didn't play, but he's a veteran that's capable of shooting the ball and passing a little bit. The failure by Joe Cronin is with some of the guys at the end of this bench and how redundant their skill sets or lack of skill sets are with each other. It's crazy to me that you have Chris Murray and City Sissoko. Both guys can't shoot. Both guys aren't really threats with the ball. Both guys can play some defense, but just have these games where they play horrible defense. City, it's mostly to fouling a ton, and he had 2 fouls in 9 minutes today. Chris Murray had 2 fouls in 12 minutes, but Chris Murray was just getting burnt off the dribble today. And then when that's not working, it's like, okay, let's go to guard version of City Sissoko and Blake Wesley, who also can't shoot, who also made questionable decisions. And this is all behind Matisse Thybulle, who for his career has not been a great three-point shooter and doesn't have ball skills offensively. It's insane how redundant this type of player is. I've talked about it at times this year. It's a failure from Joe Cronin. People will say, oh, well, these guys aren't supposed to be in the rotation. But your third string, you should have different skill sets that complement each other so that, if your shooter gets hurt, your second string shooter gets hurt, and Vic Krejci, you have a third string shooter that you can sub in. He can play the same role. It's not just, we have a bunch of guys that can't shoot, aren't good with the ball in their hands, and are just energy effort guys, but sometimes that doesn't even happen. And they're completely redundant. And then they have no role offensively. Chris Murray has absolutely no role offensively. City Sissoko has no role offensively. And this goes into the larger conversation about the offense lacking structure and not having well-defined roles. You got multiple guys that even a good coaching staff I don't think could find a role for. But then you look at the starting lineup and the way they play offensively, and there's not really defined roles. I mean, they literally play 5 out. The other team can go small, and you won't even put your 7'2" center in the post. So it's roster construction, it's coaching, it's frustrating.
I love when we have a player that gets a kick out pass at the 3-point line, and the other team literally has 3 guys about to close out on him, and then they all realize who it is and then run to other players to defend him and let him shoot the 3, and he doesn't even come close to making it. It's just like, oh my God. Yeah. I would do that too if I was the other team. That's exactly what they should do.
Meanwhile, we do it to Aaron Gordon and Carter Bryant and get torched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Thiago talks about Carter Bryant in postgame if it's up.
I'll refresh it. Yeah, it is up. All right. It's less than 3 minutes, so we'll play it.
Unless
you want to give
like,
thoughts to what I said.
Like a minute of that is he gets asked about City Sissoko. 2 questions at the end, so just be prepared for that.
Yay.
Because that was an important question to ask this game.
Is it a positive question? I'll find out.
It's like a Jan Hansen-esque question about just like, what has he done? Yeah.
All right, let's hear it.
For you guys, but it seems like you weren't able to kind of get back into the game.
Yeah, I think they play better than us. Simple like that. I think we couldn't dominate the rebounds. I think they hurt us, in every way. Running in transition, playing smalls. They got non-shooters that make shots. We didn't make shots today. They were more aggressive, passing lanes, stealing the balls, getting easy transition points. They just play better than us.
Have you guys already kind of turned the page to that game versus the Clippers? I know you guys talked about the last game versus the Clippers being really important. This one also seems like it's going to be rather important.
Yeah, of course. So we got to still, digest this game and fly back home and try to recover. And like I said, most important game of the season versus Clippers.
48-10 in bench scoring. Your assessment of that?
I mean, again, Keldon Johnson was unbelievable. Brian hitting shots. He's not like a great shooter, but he made tonight. He's at 30% and made 5 for 6.
Wait. So Carter Bryant being a 30% shooter, the attitude is, he's not a great shooter. He just made some shots today, like he was supposed to shoot the ball. That was the defensive game plan. He's a 30% three-point shooter, so we're okay with him shooting. Inversely, you should have an issue with the 27% three-point shooter shooting. Oh my god, dude. It's so... I'll listen to the rest, but his attitude towards opposing shooters is so contradictory with his attitude towards his own non-shooters.
I knew you'd like that.
God damn, dude. Like, yeah, you'll play the numbers with Carter Bryant, who hasn't played that much this year. It's probably not a large sample. But then Chris Murray can go out there and shoot whatever three he freaking wants to. And then when he misses threes, it's, oh, we just didn't make shots. It's such BS. It is complete BS. Like, if I'm Tom Dunn, man, I hope Tom Dunn is thinking this. Like, okay, we have multiple guys that shoot a lot of threes that are around that percentage. So what do you mean, oh, he's only a 30% shooter and he made shots? I don't know. Anyway. Love it.
Sheldon, he's been scoring his whole life, so it's not a surprise. We didn't match his energy. He killed us under the rim, rebounding, just pounding there and getting easy twos, and we couldn't stop them.
Any other questions? Coach, what can we expect what would you expect to see from CD in the next, coming month or years? He's still a young player.
Years?
Or month, yeah.
Well, CD, is a player that play really.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I will say the one thing I like about Thiago is the way he treats some of these questions that are so silly. Years, like, he doesn't even know if he's going to be there next year to see anything from City, let alone is City even going to be here next year either?
City or Thiago.
Yeah. Like, hey, man. We can't get a media pass, but, this is what we get in terms of the questions, man. All right.
Good game to ask that question.
I love that. You know what, Thiago? I like you a little bit more now. Years? I have no idea who asked that. It doesn't sound like a regular guy, but what do you see from him in the next coming month? We're going to be playing for another month?
I was assuming it was someone either there to cover the game because initially it would have been like Wemby, Sissoko, but it was probably just a French reporter that's there covering Wemby and just wanted to ask a question about Sissoko since he's French as well.
I mean, the guy didn't seem to have an accent, so I don't know. Weird. I gotta replay that again. I love that. I wish I could show you the video without the copyright issues because his facial expression too is funny, man. It's funny.
Coach, what can we expect what would you expect to see from CD in the next, coming month or years? He's still a young player.
Years?
Or month, yeah.
Well, CD, is a player that play really well for us this season. That's the reason he got a contract. We signed him. He always bring energy. Maybe tonight wasn't his night, but it's a guy that we like in our program. We are developing him and try to make him even a better player.
You talk about what kind of improvements you would like him to make in his offensive game?
I hear
Sorry,
it now,
say that again.
What kind of improvements you would like to see him doing in his
I think he's improving already, taking care of the ball. Defensively, he's active off the ball. Got to be a little bit better guarding pick and roll and getting, navigating those screens. Of course, the shooting is something that he's still got to develop. But yeah, we love him. We like him. His energy is key in our locker room.
End of interview. Yeah, I hear it. For some reason, I did not hear the accent first go around, but yeah, it makes a little bit more sense now. But I mean, some of the questions are just ridiculous, dude. There's something you ask before game, and he does pregame media availability. After a loss, it's kind of wild to me. Some of the stuff that can get asked about a player that played 9 minutes.
I mean, it'd be one thing if he scored 15 points or something, had a really good game, and like was a shining player from this game or something, But that it just seems like a very weird game. That's why I thought it had to have been like a Spurs French reporter that just wanted to ask about Sissoko since Wemby didn't play, probably.
Yeah, that's what it is. He doesn't sound like his answers are BS to me, which a lot of Chauncey's answers were BS, and a lot of Stotts' answers were BS, so, I guess this is par for the course. But, I mean, dude, part of the issue is he coaches, he coaches Carter Bryant's a 31% three-point shooter. It's okay to leave him open. But Blake Wesley comes in the game, he can shoot a three. Chris Murray's in the game, he can shoot whatever three he wants. Sadie Sissoko's in the game, he can shoot whatever three he wants too. All these guys can shoot whatever threes they want. They're literally just as bad, if not worse, three-point shooters than Carter Bryant. But your game plan is to let Carter Bryant shoot even after he's made a couple. I guarantee you Carter Bryant's a better shooter than all three of those guys. You can just... If I didn't show you, if you didn't know who it was and you saw Carter Bryant's form compared to Blake Wesley, Chris Murray, and Sadie Sissoko, you would assume Carter Bryant's the best three-point shooter out of that bunch. Mm-hmm. Definitely over Chris Murray and Sadie Sissoko. And Thiago admits Sissoko has to develop his three-point shot. Okay, well then the defense leaves him and he has a lane in front of him. Drive! But he doesn't do it. Now, he did do one thing in this game that I wish Chris Murray would do more of, and that's, they played above the level of the screen, the ball got to the roll man, and City cut from the corner and had a nice reverse dunk.
Got a dunk, yeah.
Nice, nice dunk. Chris Murray, in that position, sits in the corner and bricks threes. And Thiago seems to have no issue with it because it'll be in games where he's 0 for 4 from 3 and plays 20-plus minutes.
Denny also had a good hard cut down the middle and got a dunk or a lay-in off it because he cut as well, but just doesn't happen enough.
He does not have the Dundon mindset to me.
Thiago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We're going to talk about...
I don't think Cronin does either, to be honest.
No. These guys, I don't think they're cut out for the new owner.
I don't know if that means they'll be gone this offseason or not. Like I said, it'd be kind of weird to retain Thiago if it wasn't a long-term contract. There's already some rumors that there's been some initial negotiations that Thiago's turned down.
But then there's also rumors that Dundon is leading a wide net in search of the next potential coach for this team. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that. But let's just finish talking about performances today.
Yeah.
Let's get through that first. Tamani, man... was he the best player today?
I mean, he played really well at times. Obviously, his plus-minus was good. But like I said, it felt like there was a large stretch where he wasn't... I mean, he had that steal in the fourth quarter, I guess, playing the passing lanes, but... I don't know. I felt like he disappeared for a long. It's hard to say someone is our best player when they only take 8 shots.
I mean, he's averaging 23.7 points per game in the month of April.
Yeah,
I mean the last 5 games. Listen to these last 5 games. This is the best 5-game offensive stretch of his career by far. 23 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist on 8 for 14 for the field, 4 for 9 from 3. 17 points, 7 rebounds, 7 for 16 from the field, 3 for 9 from 3. 23 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 8 for 15 from the field, 6 for 12 from 3. Last game, 30 points, 5 rebounds, 10 for 16 from the field, 8 for 13 from 3. Tonight, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 7 for 12 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3. You know what's funny? And this is the 3 games before that, he had a couple lower scoring games, 10 points, 8 points, but he had 35 on March 23rd against the Nets that isn't being included in this. It's funny because, we started having conversations when he was playing some really bad basketball offensively and inconsistent defense. We started having conversations about like, man, that's probably the starting spot that they should look to upgrade. The last like 10 games or so has made me feel a lot less like that because of how well he's been playing. This is the best 10-game stretch of his career, and I think his defense has gotten a little bit more consistent.
Yeah, I would agree.
So he's playing his best basketball at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Just would love to see this a little bit more consistently. Because if he can do this a little bit more consistently, where we're not just talking about a hot 5-game stretch, if he can do this with any consistency over the next couple of years, like that'd be one of the highest impact players in the league. Like that would unlock a lot of things for this team offensively if he can be that level of threat. Now, he's shooting about 50% from 3 the last 5 games. Like, he's not going to keep that up, but just be more consistent.
I just like the way he's playing. He feels, just watching him, like a completely different player than he was a couple weeks ago.
He's playing with attitude, man. He's playing with confidence. He needs to keep this. He needs to hang on to this because he's been phenomenal lately.
Mm-hmm.
He's been the most consistent player lately. So, love Tamani's impact. Love Tamani's performance tonight. Plays 40 minutes. He's been in the lineup every single game of the regular season. Lots of props his way. Scoot Henderson was actually the second leading scorer. He played 38 minutes, had 20 points, was 7 for 20 from the field, 3 for 9 from 3, 3 for 4 from the free throw line, had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 1 turnover. The first thing I want to start with is just the assist numbers, Eric. Is that just like roll? Because he's playing off the ball a bit, but he does have the ball in his hands. He's not playmaking.
Tonight he was on ball several times in certain lineups. I don't know. He doesn't seem to be throwing the lob much lately.
Yeah.
And that's been huge for like Denny and Drew getting assists.
Yeah.
So when he's not doing that, and then I don't know if it's just like him not being the kick out passer when people are hitting threes, they're just missing when he's kicking out.
He's not throwing the kick out pass as much.
Yeah, he's taken some tough shots that he's not making at this point of his career. Had that one where he got completely walled off by Dylan Harper and shot anyways, and it resulted in the jump ball. I don't know, man. He's I don't know if they're like telling him that he needs to be more aggressive trying to score or what. But yeah, he definitely hasn't been looking to pass as much lately.
Yeah. He airballed twice early in this game from 3. Really started off rough from 3. Finishes 3 for 9 though. That's 33%. Like, I'd say the thing I trust most about his game is his 3-point shooting right now, which is
so crazy.
Yeah, but I mean,
probably agree with you, but yeah, it's
last year it was kind of like this as well. He was 35.4% from 3 last year. This year, coming into this game, 35.7% from 3. Everybody was freaking out about how bad his shooting looked from 3 when he was in that 7-game stretch. And what was I sitting here saying? Like, I'm still not worried about his 3-point shot. Like, maybe after there was 2 games where he was missing wildly on open threes, and it was like, okay, this looks a little off. But I talked about it. He went from 32 to 35% from year 1 to year 2 from 3, and he put in a lot of work in the offseason. Like, I wasn't going to worry about his three-point shot as much as other things. And would you look at that? He's right up close to 36%. He started this game rough, was still 3 for 9 from 3. His form looks good. His form looks smooth. His form is improved. That's the thing I'm worried the least about with him. Which just is completely different than the way people were acting during the 7-game slump, right? He's shooting a higher rate of threes compared to his field goal attempts. Let me look at his three-point rate. It was 34% his rookie year, 43% last year. It's up to 47% of his field goal attempts are threes. So the three-point shooting is fine. It's the inside the arc stuff, which he was finishing well at the rim to start his season when he came back. I think he was like 73%. Even after that slump, he was like 73% 0 to 3 feet. That's down to 62%. And he's 29% 3 to 10 feet. The thing is, his mid-range game has been money. He doesn't shoot a lot, but he's been above 50% from 10 feet to the three-point line. Like, when he's able to get a little bit of space, I fully trust his mid-range shot right now. But that's a jump shot. Like, the jump shooting is there, the finishing is not, and it's the complete opposite of what was expected with him as a prospect. And I don't know. Like, if he can ever learn how to finish the ball and if the playmaking can kind of come back to what it was his first and second year, that seems to me like that'd be a pretty dang good player. I don't know, man. It's the finishing. It's just super weird,
Yeah. It's just hard to judge a lot of players on this team right now with what's going on.
And that's my hope, that in a better system, he's not like an isolation player to me. If he's ever going to become a star, he needs to be able to do a much better job in isolation. But like, if we're talking about him becoming a good starter, running the offense, and then like driving when the opportunity's there and knocking down threes and making plays for others, that still can be a really good high impact player. That's not really an ISO player, but the system doesn't really produce those opportunities to attack for him. He's constantly attacking a set defense and a defender that's right in front of him. Eric froze. Don't know why Eric froze, but Eric is frozen. We don't like that. Rest in peace to Eric. Anyway, Scoot shot a lot of shots tonight, but I don't know. Like, a couple of the threes I thought were too contested. He took some bad threes to start this game. But he didn't lose his confidence, and I like that he's playing with a level of confidence as a shot maker right now. There are 3 Erics backstage. Let's go. How many of them are frozen? Now there's 4. What is happening? He's multiplying. Hold on. Eric, if you're listening, just reconnect. If you're listening. I muted myself mid-sentence. Anyway, took some tough shots. He has to figure out how to finish at the rim. He's used to using his athleticism to finish. He has to get better at using his body to finish and just being crafty as a finisher. Like De'Aaron Fox had a couple finishes in this game where he's just like driving not to the rim, but driving to the block and then just flicking it up with his right hand. Or maybe it was his left hand. I don't know. But like just shielding the ball, driving to the block, and then flicking a shot up and in off the glass. Just crafty stuff, right? He doesn't have to rely on just his speed. Eric rejoined, and he's still frozen. He's still frozen. So, don't know why. And now there's 3 of them again. Someone stole Eric's DNA and is quoting him. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's just if he can ever take a step as a finisher at the rim, he becomes an efficient player. I mean, this season, his true shooting percentage going into this game, 55.5%. And that's with a 7-game stretch where he's playing like the worst player in the league. It's a higher true shooting percentage much higher true shooting percentage than Caleb Love, than a lot of the wings on this team. I want to look at it like the last month, though. Let me go to his game log. So Scoot, since that slump ended in the past month, starting on March 8th, not counting tonight's game because we don't have the updated stats on Basketball Reference. Can Basketball Reference show me? Hello? Okay. It's a 15-game sample. Scoot's shooting 46% from the field, 45% from 3. 46% from 3 if you round. 84% from the free throw line. He's averaging 16 points per game in 25 minutes. The question becomes, what if he becomes a guy that's getting 33 minutes per game and is finishing better at the rim? That's an efficient 20-plus points. The key to him is figuring out how to finish better at the rim, though. That's the key. I would love to see his true shooting percentage in this stretch, but I just want to look at his true shooting percentage in March because Basketball Reference will show me this. In March, Scoot's true shooting percentage was 56%. This month it was almost 60 his first 2 games. So the key is just finishing at the rim because the jump shooting from mid-range, the jump shooting from 3 has looked good. Okay, there we go. We got Eric back, and he's unfrozen. Welcome back from the... What do they call this? Cryo chamber?
Yes.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Any additional thoughts on Scoot? I don't know if you heard me talk the last couple of minutes.
I've heard a few things, but yeah, he's... Yeah, I mean, at one point he was like 3 for 11 in this game, not shooting well. It's still got a... He had a point where he broke away, got past the defense on a breakaway, and just threw the ball so hard off the backboard didn't even hit rim. Just gotta find a way to finish a little better because I think the other stuff, like you said, has improved.
Yep. Last 15 excuse me. Last 15 games his true shooting percentage is 57% according to Tristan. Yeah, after that slump he's had okay efficiency. It's solid. It's just like the finishing, the finishing. And the playmaking, those are the 2 keys to him becoming a good starter. So, anyway, we're going to talk about the rest of the players. But first, I got to ask Aaron. I almost called you Quaren. I keep trying to not cough,
Nope.
and it's... I keep trying to not cough, and it's messing up my words. I called you Quaren.
It's a Key and Peele sketch.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't have a cough, but when I talk for a while, then I start to feel like I need to cough, and then I try and talk through
Happens
it.
to me at
and
work all the time.
Jumbled words come out. Yeah. Excuse me. Shout out to Quaren. How do you spell that, chat? How do you spell that? Type it in the chat. We just gave Eric a new name. No, I have 3 questions that I want Eric's input on, and it's never too early to look at off season and players' next teams. And this segment, of course, is brought to you by Prize Picks. Make sure to use that code HMA. We're looking at next teams for 3 players, and want to have the conversation about the Portland Trailblazers. You can find these on Prize Picks. Okay, so if you feel strongly about it, make sure you check out Prize Picks. First one is Draymond Green. I thought this one was interesting because obviously the number one option is he's staying with Golden State or retiring as a Warrior. The next option is Milwaukee. That would obviously be in a Giannis trade. The next option after that is the Lakers, and I guess that's because he loves LeBron James. And then the option...
LeBron's not going to be there.
Yeah, true. So, but then the option after that is the Portland Trailblazers. If he's not a Warrior, are they going to trade for Giannis? Like, would you agree that that's the most likely destination? He ends up in Milwaukee in a Giannis trade, or are one of these other destinations piquing your curiosity?
Well, I think the reason why there's other teams listed is because in a trade for Giannis, I don't know if the Bucks would want him. So yeah. I think that would be a case of us maybe being involved as a third team and taking him. But so yeah, I think Milwaukee is probably the worst bet on this list, just because they might trade for Giannis, but I don't see him
making any sense there. Yeah.
Yeah, or like playing game 1 there. So I think the next time he plays a game, it'll be. I don't know. I still think he is.
Oh, he got frozen again. And he's duplicating again backstage. Man. I'll say this, like, Charlotte, I think, would make a lot of sense for him. Portland, obviously, Portland has Milwaukee's picks. Maybe that's a player they like. But with the lack of shooting, they don't need a Draymond-type player. Draymond doesn't really address their needs. Maybe I only ask Eric one question, because maybe he's frozen for the rest. I think is it the laptop? I don't know. Is it the collab cam? Not sure. Not sure. If only we had Prize Picks for that. Number 2. Eric's just going to watch on in frozen silence because he's back in the cryo chamber. Zion Williamson's next team. Portland is tied for the worst odds with multiple teams. Which I feel like Portland should be higher on this list. Portland, we know Dundon wants to make a splash. Zion Williamson could be the type of guy that you could quantify as a splash, but maybe you can trade for without giving up too many assets. Okay, there's 5 Erics now. Phenomenal. I will disconnect them. I feel like Portland could be a Zion destination, but once again, with the lack of shooting, does it make much sense next to Denny Avdija? You know, that's why I'd shy away. I don't think Sacramento makes any sense, but, I mean, it's the Kings, so you never know what they could do. They could get Darren Peterson and then trade for Zion and be like, this is our star duo. Zion has been healthy second half of the season. Chicago, they just fired their GM, so maybe they're going to be smarter now. Trading for Zion will not be the smart move for them. Milwaukee is interesting, I guess, because maybe it's in a Giannis trade, and they're getting back a pick that New Orleans has. I believe New Orleans has one of their picks. I forget. But I just think Milwaukee would flip them just like they'd flip Draymond. Golden State, I actually think he'd be very intriguing next to Porzingis and in that system. So that's an interesting one. And then Toronto. I mean, Toronto has a lot of forwards that aren't the best shooters, so I don't really see how Zion fits there. Do we have Eric back? No, he's frozen backstage. He has a different pose, though. Man, I don't know what's going on. All right, and then the third guy we're taking a look at, it's Giannis. It's Giannis. This is really what we care about right here. There's 6 Erics. I am so distracted by the multiplying Erics backstage. You got New York as the favorite. You got Miami. You got the Lakers. I don't think the Lakers really have the ammo to make this happen, but Giannis would have leverage given that he has 1 year left on his contract. But look at there. Portland is 4th, tied with Minnesota. So it's just cool to see Portland on this graphic. I do think he does get traded, but he does have some leverage. So I think the New York thing is more real, which I think Portland would potentially be a part of with the picks that they have. The Bucks picks. Because it sounds like those picks might not be as valuable given the lottery for reform that's going to happen. Hopefully I'll be able to talk with Eric about it. But anyway, just want to take a look at those things brought to you by Prize Picks. Make sure to use that code HMA. Eric, I'm going to regenerate the link. I don't think it'll do anything, but here you go. There's the link. Don't really know why this is a thing. At least Eric looked really happy when he was frozen, so it's Gabe, yeah. Yep. Okay. Let me make sure I didn't miss any donations. I'm trying to be better about that. I did not. No messages for us. So I didn't miss any. I guess that's good. There we go. We got a, all right, back from the dead again. Finish the Prize Picks segment. Now we're back. All right. Before you freeze again, give me your thoughts on Drew Holiday and Donovan Clingan. Drew, 13 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Clingan, 11 points, 4 for 7, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks.
I mean, 6 of 17 isn't good. 1 of 7 from 3 for Drew, not good as well. Did have 6 assists, but I had a couple of bad turnovers as well. I don't know. I thought both of them were okay, but didn't really have the energy we needed for this one either.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Clingan was 3 for 5 from 3. Continues to shoot the 3 ball. Had a decent clip, 33% for the season. Lately, I mean, last game he was 3 for 6. Tonight he's 3 for 5. So the 3-point shot, I think, is real. He was 28% last year, 33% this year. That's the level of growth and the volume, 3 attempts per game. Like, it's the level of growth and volume that I needed to see to buy him as a legitimate stretch 5 for the future. I fully buy it. Now, in this game, there's a period of time they went small, and the national announcers were like, Blazers need to put Clingan down the post. He's playing on the perimeter as he's catching the ball on the perimeter against a small. And then I saw someone on Blazers Twitter, it was a decently prominent page, talk about, like, this is why Clingan needs to learn how to have a low post game. He needs to develop a low post game for situations like these. As if that's why they weren't posting him up. Clingan can finish in the post against a dude that's 6 inches shorter than him. And if he doesn't, him getting reps in those situations are good for developing that. The Blazers don't do that. They do not put him in the post against a small ball lineup. And this goes back to, they never have a deliberate plan or a deliberate adjustment for a situation on offense. We talked about last game how they didn't attack Jamal Murray when he was playing a lot of minutes with 5 fouls. Fouling him out of the game, especially a close crunch time game, would have been huge. The Blazers never targeted him. And then tonight, the Spurs went small multiple times. The Blazers were struggling offensively, and instead of getting Klingon a couple low post touches, maybe forcing a double team, he can pass out of those, and maybe you start getting better shots and getting some movement. They sit him on the perimeter, where he does not have the advantage.
Mm-hmm. Well, same with Denny. There was multiple times where Fox, Harper, McLaughlin all got matched up on him or switched onto him. And I would love to see the Blazers post him up more in those situations.
Yeah. Because he can pass out of it, and I think he can finish against to do that. He can finish against Kelton Johnson or Harrison Barnes or whoever's guarding him.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't let him fail, like our offense was already failing.
We let them get away with Carter Bryant's center minutes tonight. Like, so bad.
It's ridiculous. The thing is, those small ball lineups generally will switch everything.
Mm-hmm.
Literally just have them go set a screen, try and force a switch, and roll down to the post and throw it into him. And then he can read the defense. If they come to double him, okay, somebody should be open. You cut off that. You run offense off that. But that's not their system. And it's ridiculous. There's like such an inability to adjust offensively from Thiago, and it doesn't matter what the situation is. There's no thought put into what they're doing offensively. It's just all kind of random chaos, 5-out chaos, even against a small ball lineup when you have a 7'2" center. That can pass, by the way. No, we're going to use him like a shooting guard and just have him camped out there shooting threes instead. And that's literally what this game was. Klingon was 4 for 7 from the field in 28 minutes. 5 of those 7 attempts were threes. Like, yeah, Luke Cornett played 26 minutes. The other 22 minutes, they did not have a big in. They literally just had wings and forwards. But hey, man, putting Donovan Klingon in the post against a small ball lineup, that's a little tricky for Thiago. You know, that goes against the philosophy of their offense. They'd rather have Sidi Sissoko and Chris Murray shooting threes, even though the game plan is to let better shooters shoot wide open threes on the other side of the ball. Tell me how that makes any sense, chat. Doesn't make sense to me.
Mubsy had a $7 Canadian donation.
Thank you, Mubsy.
Have they been using Klingon as playmaking hub yet?
I mean, he had 5 assists in this game.
Yeah.
It's not from the post, though.
Yeah, it's just like dribble handoffs and an occasional cut like the Denny one where he makes a nice backdoor bounce pass, but
yeah,
it's not like designed for, like, it doesn't look like the way we used Young Hansen in Summer League or that we used Nurkic in the past, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
I think Blazer fans it's pretty obvious what that looks like when you use your center as a hub based on those two things.
It's frustrating. I mean, even Robert Williams can pass a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, hopefully the next head coach is more creative. When we hire Mark Few, you know, he'll use him in the post. Could you imagine?
We're going to sign Drew Timmy in the offseason.
Hell yeah, man. Did you see there was 3 front court players from Gonzaga starting in that game? Lakers versus... who were they playing? Because it was Timmy and Rui for the Lakers, and then I'm forgetting who the other guy is, because there's multiple Gonzaga players in the league, you know? Who's the other team, chat? Thunder. Yeah, Chet. Duh.
Yeah.
Duh. Yeah, love to see it, you know. They used to say Gonzaga players never pan out in the NBA, never become anything in the NBA. Well, anyway, just had to flex that fact for a second as a Gonzaga fan, because they're the only team I feel good about right now because their season's over.
I love seeing that. Like, DeAndre Ayton was going to be the focal point going to that game, and he had like 3 points and 2 rebounds or something, and gets called out after the game.
He got called out? By the fans or by JJ?
By Reddit. Yeah,
What'd JJ
again.
say?
I'm paraphrasing. I don't know exactly what he said, but it was something to the effect of, if he wants more touches, he's got to catch the ball or something. His hands were, yeah. He was having a tough time catching the ball. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if the ball touches your hands and you drop it, does it count as a touch because you touched it?
I don't know.
Maybe that's what he means.
Yeah.
He just wants the ball to literally hit his hands. That's funny, though. 3 points. I'm looking at a box score. 3 rebounds in 23 minutes. Whenever I don't feel good about something Blazers-wise, I just go and look at a Lakers box score, and I instantly feel better seeing DeAndre Ayton in the box score for another team. Instantly makes me feel better. Anyway. We talked about the bench. Don't really got anything more to say. I'll just say this. If Chris Murray's in the rotation next year, this channel is becoming Sonic's Uprise. Or Mirage Uprise. We can go watch Bronny play for LeBron when he owns the Las Vegas team.
I think I heard that wasn't happening now or something.
What wasn't happening?
The LeBron Las Vegas thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought it's more speculation than anything, but I don't know. We'll see.
I've been wanting to read this comment from a Mitva for a while.
Okay.
He said earlier, "You guys act like it's the end of the world when we lose to top teams when our goal right now is beating the Clippers."
Did we act like it was the end of the world because we critiqued how they played? Do you think criticizing a lack of effort is the end of the world? Like, is that what you're equating that with? I mean, my goodness, man. A little sensitive there if you think that critiquing lack of effort and critiquing bad three-point shooters shooting three-point shots and the bench being bad. If you think critiquing that is the end of the world, then yeah, I see how you think we're acting like it's the end of the world. But I think you should maybe relax a little bit yourself and not take that to mean the world is ending.
The thing is, this is exactly what Tom Dundon's talking about. Like,
Yeah.
he wants that type of loser mentality scratched from the record.
Yep.
He doesn't want us to think that way. He wants us to think we have to win games like this and we should win games like this, and there's no excuse for that. So hopefully that culture changes, and hopefully a lot of Blazer fans' mindset change too. Once again, not telling you how to root for. If you want to feel like the Blazers not showing up with 3 games left in the season and needing to win to get an 8 seed isn't a big deal because they played a top team without their 2 best players.
Yeah.
That's great. But, this is...
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just that's the type of mindset that leads to you possibly not getting the 8 seed. And they beat the Dallas Mavericks. They don't blow that game against Denver. They beat the Wizards earlier this season. The Spurs game at home earlier in the season when they didn't have Wemby either, and we lost. We didn't show up for that game with a chance to win the NBA Group Cup. I hope that mentality goes away.
Well, the comment's just disingenuous because it's painting what we're saying as the end of the world, which it's not. But it's also painting the Spurs missing Victor Wembanyama and Stephon Castle as just simply a top team. Right? Like that's how it's disingenuous because it's trying to craft a certain picture, right? That type of comment doesn't want to take into account that they were missing Wemby and Stephon Castle. Right? Because then that would make this loss seem worse. That type of comment just wants to make this loss seem better, and any critique against it ridiculous. So critique against it, end of the world. This team, they were missing Wemby, they were missing Castle. No, it's just a top team. It's simply just a top team. Yeah. So just recontextualizing and then ignoring context just to have a specific slant is what that comment is. So it's just a disingenuous comment. I don't need to spend any more time on that. Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing is, I mean, once again, the Spurs game or the Clippers game started 30 minutes after ours. We could have hoped and thought that the Thunder were going to win, but you can't just bank on that happening, because if the Clippers would have won that game tonight, then we would have been screwed by losing this game.
Yep. We would have had effectively no shot at eighth. We would have had to beat the Clippers and then beat the Kings with the Clippers losing to the Warriors. Maybe that's possible. With
the Warriors having nothing to play because they're the only
locked
team
into
that's locked into their position.
Yeah. So I'm not counting on them losing that game. And honestly, the last day doesn't matter outside of the Blazers being the Clippers, which they should do. Like, the only thing that would make this game on Friday not for eighth is if the Blazers lose to the Kings in the final game. Otherwise, this game's for eighth. But yeah, they didn't know that. So, I mean, but that's the thing. It's just a disingenuous comment. It's the type of comments we get all the time that don't really make any sense and are trying to slant things that way. Anyway, if you think we're acting like the world is ending in this stream, man, you should check out some of the other streams. We are acting like the universe.
Wait till we lose to the Kings on Sunday.
Yeah. Just wait, man. We got you. We'll show you what it really looks like when the world is ending.
Or when Steph Curry does his normal playoff thing against the Blazers in the playing game, and we're out on Tuesday of next week.
Yeah. I will say this.
We got that home game.
My world will be ending the minute that Chris Murray checks into opening night next year in the first quarter. That's when my world will end.
Nice.
Because I'll bash my head against the wall. Yeah. Please no. Anyway. I'm tired of the Sissoko Chris Murray minutes. Really am. Repair did more in one game than like those guys will do in a month. If you don't know what we're talking about, Repair had a 33-point triple-double for the Grizzlies.
They got sent to the G League, so they'd lose.
Yeah, he's too good for them. That's funny. Man, I need some water after the stream. Let's... Oh, you know what we get to do? We get to do another tankathon with our pick in the lottery.
And are we ever going to move up ever again?
I mean...
Will tonight be the night?
This is kind of the last chance if we beat the Clippers. If Tankathon will load.
Tankathon is rebelling against
Tankathon
the NBA
is
for
tanking. Yeah, hold on. It's making me think the stream is lagging. Is the stream okay? Because Tankathon is not okay.
Yeah, stream looks fine.
Okay, there we go. Tankathon's there. I don't know what's happening. Alrighty, 12th. Let me actually fix this center a little bit more. There we go. All right. Can we get lucky? Last stream, Miami moved up from 13 to 3. So we got unlucky somehow. We have a 7% chance of moving up into the top 4. So here's the thing. People want this pick. I don't want the 12th pick because I don't want to draft a projected late second ahead of guys like Carter Bryant, Derek Queen, Cedric Coward. Just why I'm not super thrilled with a late lottery pick. I don't trust this front office. But maybe there's a new front office that knows how to draft without tampering. for a second rounder that you take at 16. All right. At 14, we have Charlotte. At 13, we have your Portland Trailblazers again. Whoever made Tankathon is a Miami Heat fan. How the hell did we move down from 12 to 13 on back-to-back streams? See, this is a sign. We're not supposed to have our pick. This is such a sign. That's crazy. 12 is Golden State. 11 is Milwaukee. 10 is Chicago. 9 is Dallas. Is this a repeat of the last simulation? 8 is Memphis. 7 is Utah. 6 is Clippers via Indiana. It's not a strict repeat, but it's very close. It's weird. 5 is Washington. 4, Atlanta via New Orleans. 3, Sacramento. 2, Brooklyn, which means the number 1 overall pick goes to the Miami Heat.
Wow. Were they 2 last stream?
They were 3.
3? Yeah.
I mean, we could catch them. Wait. If we won tonight... Oh, no, we wouldn't be 11th. I was going to say if we won tonight. See, that's the reason why we should have won tonight. If we beat the Nuggets and then the Spurs, we would have the number 1 overall pick. That's crazy.
No, because we'd be in the 8th seed. We wouldn't be in the lottery.
True. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I guess technically they have the
can't win.
tiebreaker right now. Yeah.
That's right. Well, no, we'd be a game ahead of them. We'd be 42 and 38. And they are 41 and 39. You know what this is a sign of, actually? That we shouldn't make the playoffs, because if we pass them up, they might have the 13th overall pick, which goes to OKC. But the new lottery format is just going to help OKC in San Antonio. So it's going to help them tremendously and screw every other small market. So that's cool.
Well, the Clippers got to keep the pick from the Pacers. That's probably more important to them.
Someone in chat learned Control V. Tankathon has these runs during the year where the same teams jump and then it goes away after a week or two like a glitch. Really? That kind of defeats the whole purpose of the site.
Well, the NBA is trying to defeat the purpose of the site.
True. True. Although, dude, if what they're talking about goes through and all 18 teams are drawn and it's like all equal odds, you realize how crazy these Tankathon things are gonna get.
Yeah.
We can be the 7th seed and we're still in the lottery with like a chance to move up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, who knows what spot? There's like no set order outside of the odds being a little different. So it wouldn't defeat the purpose of the site. It would make the site even that much more entertaining. We'd have to do a sim every freaking stream no matter what because of how crazy all the sims would be. But I just got to say this. They are being completely ridiculously stupid. Shout out to Adam Silver for being a terrible commissioner. If they put through the lottery changes, which basically puts 18 teams in the lottery, they draw for every spot. The top 10 teams all have 8% chance, and then the final 20% is split between the bottom eight teams of the lottery. It's going to make it's going to have so many unforeseen circumstances, and a lot of teams are tanking this year because of the generational draft. Next year's draft is not like that. You would not have this issue next year. But they're basically taking a cut, that's bleeding a little bit, right? A little bit of a wound, and they're taking a hammer to it and beating it, thinking that it's going to stop the bleeding. Is essentially what they're doing. So never discount the ability for Adam Silver and the NBA to screw things up even more.
I wouldn't mind if they just added all the play-in teams to the lottery, because I do think that helps. Portland was in this situation a couple of years around the trade deadline where they're only a couple games out of the play-in, and they decided to just completely tank the rest of the season. Or like Dallas a couple of years ago when they were trying to keep a pick that was top 10 protected or something and purposely didn't make the play-in. Then you could have teams maybe that like it wouldn't help if. See, it's so weird because, like, how do you penalize teams that made trades under a whole different set of rules without some sort of like time period before those go into effect?
Exactly.
But just in general, like Portland would get screwed because their pick is top 14 protected or whatever. So if they got the 15th pick but were in the lottery, then it wouldn't really work very well. But
I mean, that Orlando pick, though,
yeah.
Could that be the 10th worst? And then all of a sudden it's as good as any other pick in 2028? Like, yeah. I think in certain years, like last year's playoffs where Houston was the 2 seed, and who was the 3 seed? Denver? Or no, the Lakers? I guess the Lakers are beatable too, but like Houston, if the 2 seed's weaker than the 3 seed, and I'm sitting there at 6, I'm like, oh man, I could tank for 7th. Just have to win that first playing game, get a better first round matchup, and get lottery odds. If you're in 11th, if you're the here's the thing, Eric, if you have the 11th best odds because you are the 10th seed in your conference, you would tank to avoid the play-in. I don't think it would fix the thing that you're talking about with Dallas, because I think there would be teams that would be sitting there at 10th like, okay, what? We have to win 2 games on the road just to get an 8th seed, just to get walloped by, OKC or whoever. Or we can tank out of this spot, and if we do, we get as good of lottery odds as literally any other team in the league. I think that's what you would see.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah. I think there would be unforeseen things from this that would be a even bigger issue. I think you'd have some teams that are just literally permanently bad at the bottom of the league, small market, without a ton of assets, and now their picks aren't worth that much, and they don't get lottery luck, and they really don't have a way out unless they do things completely perfectly, pick the perfect player at like 11 or wherever they end up.
Well, that system would help like the bottom 7 or 8 teams. Like right now, they could be playing to win games. That would be the only difference.
Yeah, but like
it wouldn't matter if they finish 1 through 8.
I honestly don't even think people really care as much as they act like. Do people care?
Well, I mean, we've talked about that before, but
do people care that the Pelicans are trying to play competitive basketball right now because they don't have their pick? Or are you telling me that you're excited? Oh, this team that I like to watch is playing the Pelicans instead of the Jazz because the Pelicans are trying to win. No, people look at the Pelicans like they suck. The Jazz suck too, and the Jazz are trying to lose, and they get blown out by bigger margins. Like, I don't think people actually care like they act like. So, yeah. Yep. Anyway, let's talk about Dundon's coaching search, and then that'll be the stream for tonight. Let me find the quote that I want to reference here. So this was from a couple days ago. This is from Mark Stein, so reputable. League
Stein and Fisher have been talking about this a lot the last couple days.
Yeah. Let me find where's the full quote? Because basically, hold on. Because this is only a partial quote. Bear with me here. I want to find the full quote. Because it's interesting. Hold on. Jake Fisher on the Blazers coaching situation, quote, "The Trailblazers sources say did hold some contract extension discussions with Thiago Splitter. Yet, as Stein noted Sunday, new Blazers owner Tom Dundon is already taking a rather hands-on role in casting a wide net for potential options to succeed Billups in the event Splitter is not retained beyond this season. Word is Portland has even considered college coaches for the position." Fisher adds that there are also question marks about the Blazers front office going forward as well, noting the suspensions of Sergio Oliva and Mike Schmitz. So, I don't really know how much there is to say on the GM thing. Like, he might clean house with the front office. He might not. I don't know if the suspensions play into that at all, but they might. They absolutely might. That's really all I have to say in that regard. I think the coaching thing's more interesting to talk about here. One, the fact that the Blazers have already had contract discussions, extension discussions with Thiago Splitter. But then Dundon has come in and is being hands-on and casting a wide net, looking as far to the college ranks for potential coaching replacements. Because those two things seem kind of contradictory to me. Like, why are you discussing contract extensions with Thiago before the end of the season if you're also looking at freaking college coaches as potential replacements? Now, there is one thing to be said for doing your due diligence, but I think you would do your due diligence before landing on Thiago.
Well, it's possible they're considering Thiago along with seeing what other options are out there.
Yeah, I just feel like if you're considering Thiago with other options, I feel like it's weird to have contract extension discussions with him.
Well, this is why. It was reported that the contract extensions were a lowball offer from the Blazers to Thiago Splitter. And when they say college coaches, I can almost 100% guarantee that does not include top-notch coaches that would cost an arm and a leg to get out of their current situations, i.e. UConn and Dan Hurley, that type of coach. So to me, they're looking at kind of maybe an under-the-radar college coach.
Who could that be?
I don't know.
Does Dusty May count as under the radar? He just won a championship.
I think his price tag just went way up.
What about the coach that won it last year in Todd Golden? Like who could this possibly be?
I mean, Golden's a little under the radar. You could maybe get him, but I don't know.
Sorry, Alex in chat said Mick Cronin. Dude, I will quit. I cannot handle another Cronin, especially that Cronin. Especially that guy. I hate that guy.
Eject our own players. From the
I know, dude. Yeah. God. And then yell at the media after for raising their voice with him.
Man, I can't remember the guy's name. Who's the Iowa coach? He came from Drake.
Oh,
it's something like that. I think we're on the right track.
Is it McCollum? Is that his last name?
It might be that. Yeah, something like that.
What's his? Ben McCollum? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I was thinking I'm thinking of CJ McCollum, but no,
right.
yeah, Ben McCollum. That's right. Yeah, took the Drake team with them and then almost made a Final Four.
Isaiah says something burger. You're thinking of Iowa State. That also might be a good guess. But I bet it would be someone like kind of like that has like a record of winning success at a couple different stops now, but isn't gonna. You're not gonna have to pay like $10 million a year to bring them out.
Yeah, honestly, like somebody like that who's not like a hothead college coach, might work out. I mean, Brad Stevens went from Butler to the NBA. He was kind of that type of hire.
Yeah.
And he was a good NBA coach and then didn't want to keep coaching, but he was a good NBA coach. I don't think taking a Calipari type or a Mick Cronin type to the NBA works because can't be as loud and demanding of professional athletes as you can college athletes. It's one thing I would worry a little bit about Hurley too, but guys love playing for him, and Klingon would have his back here. Klingon would have his back. But like if it was Ben McCollum and we didn't make the playoffs, be ready to have Bennett Sturts on the roster going into next season.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I don't like drafting him late lottery, but that's Ben McCollum's guy. So better pick than Young Hansen late lottery though.
I mean, other than Sturts, that team didn't have like a ton of top talent on that team. So
I mean, Fulgaris is the after me clowning draft Twitter for having him too high. He ended up hitting that game winner against Duke. He was why they advanced. Yeah, they didn't have a ton of talent. Sturts is a great college player. Just the athletic limitations at his size. You know, he's not like Luka's size. Is what I'd worry about. Ability to separate. He can certainly shoot the ball. I think he'd be a good role player. I just don't know beyond that. But I mean, basically, that's the type of coach that I could see them going after. And I mean, how creative is his offense? I haven't really paid attention. Most college offenses are more creative than the NBA.
Yeah. So
Duke's coach, no, thank you.
I saw an interview with McCollum at Drake last year because I was watching a lot of Drake, and he said it was a lot of non-structure. It was a lot of he expects like free flowing, just kind of figure it out, and so that kind of turned me off of that.
If you put in the right principles that have off-ball movement, motion, screening, like more structure in terms of the principles for like a free-flowing offense, then that's good. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Let me search college basketball coaches. That could go to the NBA. Kelvin Sampson?
No.
Let's see here. Let me open up this article. All right, this article, the top guy that it lists, Mark Few. As a Gonzaga fan, that would be the death of Gonzaga. I do think Mark Few could be a really good offensive coach in the NBA.
I think it would cost a lot to get him out of Gonzaga.
Yeah, and I don't know if he'd want to coach in the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree with Sam. Like, you're gonna have to overpay, or like it's just these coaches make so much money in college now. Yeah,
they do. Yeah, like he's too highly regarded. Dana Altman, no. Maybe if Phil Knight bought the team. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, I'm trying to think of like young college coach that has kind of risen up the ranks. This article then says Jay Wright. Yeah, right. Yeah, this is kind of just big name college coaches. Tommy Lloyd just got a pay raise, turned down the North Carolina job. So
you're gonna have to give him a fat contract to get him out of there.
yeah. What do you think Nate Oates would be as an NBA coach?
Terrible.
He'd fit the modern NBA, man.
He'd be like Musselman when he was
Musselman?
Eric Musselman. Yeah.
Musselman was an NBA coach?
Yeah.
What was he in? Who did he coach? When did he coach?
Coached the Kings. I thought he might have coached somewhere else too, but he coached the Kings.
How long ago was that?
It was a while ago.
Todd Golden.
Yeah,
Todd Golden.
He was an
I like,
NBA guy for a while.
He'd be expensive. Yeah, Nate Oates would it'd be interesting to see Nate Oates coach Shaden Sharp because Nate Oates does not like mid-range shots. Rim or threes. I wonder. I always wonder how certain coaches would be. Trying to think like none of the 2 seeds this year. Interest. Yeah, I don't know. Dro, no, stop. Anyway. I think my computer's starting to hate itself. So we're about 2 hours in.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's laggy, I don't think it's
Or either me
computer. FPS.
we're either gonna be happy Friday for that game throw or very pissed off and ranting. So
yeah. We'll see. Man, shout out to my computer, man. I try and read a freaking article and it hates itself. My computer's, almost 6 years old. I need a new computer. But we'll be live again on Friday. Shot Prize Picks for sponsoring the show. Use code HMA. And we'll see if the Blazers can get the 8th seed or not. We're going to have a pretty good feeling after Friday. If they lose, they're mathematically eliminated from it. If they win, then they just have to beat the Kings to get it. Not a great performance tonight against a shorthanded Spurs team. Not surprised. They haven't looked their best on national television. Excuse me. But yeah, we'll see Friday. Friday should be a fun stream. Either fun because we're ranting or fun because we're winning. One or the other. So I'm looking forward to that. And you guys got to make sure you subscribe, hit the bell button so you're notified whenever we go live with something. We'll have content previewing play-in matchups. We'll break down the game before the game. So make sure you want to catch that. And then if we ever get a playoff series, we'll break that down. We'll do video content around that. We'll do more stuff for postseason. It's been so long since we've been in the postseason that, never really planned content around it. I was watching back our last postseason stream when we lost Game 6 to Denver. It was early June of 2021.
21, yeah.
It was wild, like so
5
long
years
ago. Yeah, so long.
Were we calling for Stotts head?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the Nuggets were severely hampered by injury, and we were getting tortured by Facundo Campazzo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Facu Campazzo. Yeah. It was bad. It was bad.
And Austin Rivers.
And Austin freaking Rivers, man. Yeah. Ugh, God, that was disgusting. Yeah, no, we were very mad at Stotts. They were up 14 in the second half, if you remember. They were up 14 and then lost by 11 to a team. Yeah, they had Jokic. They were starting Austin Rivers and Campazzo together in the backcourt. They were that injured.
And that was coming off the game where Dame scored 55 and we lost.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the last time we've been in the playoffs. I mean, the offense down the stretch was basically the offense that we always see in the second halves today when we're up 14, where we just hold on to the ball, we just ISO, the pressure ratchets up, and we fall apart. So hopefully that doesn't happen on Friday. That was our small lineup, 3-6-3 guards. Yeah, but our offense was... We were up 14, and then they literally could not score. The offense fell apart in that second half. That's the one thing that should not have fallen apart. Screw it. I know I'm mid-outro, but... Nuggets Blazers box score, ESPN, Game 6, 2021. Oh, yeah, my computer hates when I pull up web pages. I need a new computer. Let me just go to the win probability. So they were up 97-84 with 3 minutes left. So in the final 15 minutes, they scored 18 points of that game.
That sounds familiar.
With the 3-guard lineup that could only play offense. Yep. Terry Stotts is a genius offense with Dame, CJ McCollum, and Norman Powell could only score 18 points against Facu Campazzo and Austin Rivers-led backcourt in a do-or-die game for the Blazers. That's abysmal. They literally scored 14 points in the fourth quarter. 14 points! They got outscored 28-14 in the fourth quarter. After scoring 33, 35, and 33 points the first 3 quarters, they scored 14 in the fourth quarter. It was some disgusting basketball. God. 9 points in the final 8 minutes. We've been saying the same things for years. For years after year after year after year after year. So hopefully we get the 8th seed and then see what happens, I guess. I don't know. We'll be back on Friday. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll see you at the start of your weekend. Hopefully it'll be a good weekend for the Blazers. Leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out Prize Picks. Join our Discord, link in the description box below. And we are out of here. Blazers lose, but maybe it won't matter. We'll see. Until next time, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.